Today we're doing football talk again. Can you believe it? It's been so long and we have football soon, so I need to get finished the things I've been procrastinating. So to explain what we're going to be doing today, I do a rating system where I talk about each team's season's games and I predict them on a scale of 1 to 10, also with a win or loss prediction. But a scale of 1 to 4. I lied. A scale of 1 to 4, 0 to 4 technically, but 1 to 4 normally. 1 being a very likely loss. 2 being a toss-up. 3 being a likely win, but close to a toss-up. 4 being a I very much think they're gonna win that one. And then a 0 is given to teams in very few instances where I think that there's no chance they win, because I believe in any given Sunday. But for the rating system, the scissors I have here, that's 1. This is 2. This is 3. Also. And then 4. And then for brief moments of in between, I have the ball ponderment, where I just clickety clackety and ball tappity. So to get on with it, here is my pen, and we're going to be going over the NFC South today. Now, get crack-a-lackin'. So Carolina, week 1, but Carolina at home versus the New York Jets. I think they get a W here. I need to get to the number system first though. I'm gonna give it a 3. Yeah, I'm gonna give it a 3. Week 2 at home versus New Orleans. I'm gonna give them 2 and a W. What a catch by me. Okay, so week 3 at Houston, I'm gonna give them a 3 and a W as well. Week 4, Carolina at Dallas. I'm going to give it a 2. I'm gonna give him an L. That's a close one. You can see the thought on my face, the debates I was going on in my head about it. To give a short recap of the past 4 games, the New York Jets, I think they will be better defensively throughout, and their offense will function. New Orleans, I think it's a division game, so their defense is going to do most of the work, and I think their offense is going to be shut down. I think they're also going to shut down the New Orleans offense. Houston. At Dallas, I think Dallas's offense is going to just function well enough against Carolina's defense to outscore Carolina's offense, but only by a little bit. Because Carolina's defense is going to be the better part of their team. I think Christian McCaffrey is phenomenal, superstar. Don't get me wrong, but their defense will be very good in my opinion this year. I think they have some young talent everywhere basically. And let's talk about Carolina real fast. Talent everywhere. The defense, I love their line. I love Brian Burns. So they're going to be good. Their offense will function with Christian McCaffrey and Sam Darnold. My hesitation with their offense being, high-powered or, operating how they intend to, is the fact that sorry, I zoned out for a second. Robbie Anderson. I love Robbie Anderson. Don't get me wrong. He's a phenomenal deep threat, and I've loved him since he's been in New York too. But that's the issue I have. He has been in New York with a certain quarterback already, and it didn't work out. Named Sam Darnold. But however, the part of me that's like, oh, it could work, is the part of me that says, oh, Adam Gase isn't involved this time. I don't love Sam Darnold, but I don't think he's bad. DJ Moore is also good. But I think there's a lot of talent. I just don't know if it's going to function as well as they want it to. Also, partially because the O-line seems like an issue. But week 5 at Philly, at home versus Philly, I'm going to give them a W and a 3. Week 6 versus Minnesota. I think I'm gonna give them 2, and I think I'm gonna give them a dub. Week 7 at the New York Giants. I'm gonna give them 2. And I'm gonna give them a loss. I know it doesn't really make sense because I think Minnesota is better than the Giants, but like, I have a feeling. If you disagree, feel free to make a comment. And thank you for watching. Week 8 at Atlanta. I'm gonna give them a 2, and I'm gonna give them a loss. Week at 9, New England at home. I think it's a 2, and I'm gonna give them a W. If you noticed, the two of the 3 home games so far, two of the 3 most recent home games, I called as a W, and then a 2 of the 2 most recent away games I called as losses. Yes. Week 10, Arizona. I'm gonna have a 2 and a loss. I think their offense is gonna function fine. Arizona's, I mean. Week 11 at home versus the Washington. Oh, I should probably do. I forgot to do this. Hold on. Yeah, I forgot to do this. I'm gonna do a little extra long. There's some 2s recent. I'm gonna talk over it. Week 11, the Washington football team. This is a 2. It's a loss. Ron Rivera is going to come with a vengeance. I just think. I know he's not playing, but like I still think so. So to recap, I don't think Philadelphia is going to hold that well up against Carolina's defense. I think week 6, I think Carolina is going to hold Minnesota's offense to not phenomenal. I think enough to keep up, and then the Giants. I don't know. I just think they're gonna do enough. And I think their defense is also gonna be super stingy to Carolina's offense. So I think Atlanta's offense at home is going to stump Carolina's offense a good bit, and I don't think the offense is going to be able to function adequately against Carolina's defense. I think Carolina is going to hold Mac Jones and the Patriots to a it's stable, steady, not spectacular performance. Well, not bad, but like not great. But then, and I think New England's defense might suffocate Carolina's offense. But if Carolina's offense functions adequately against New England's defense, it should be enough to win, in my opinion. At Arizona, I think Arizona's offense is going to function fine regardless. I think the football team is going to suffocate the Carolina offense. Now to week 12 at Miami. I'm going to give them a 2 and a W. Week 13 is a bye. Week 14 is at home versus Atlanta. T2 and a W. I think the home field advantage in time is going to help them against Atlanta this time. Especially with the whole bye week prior to it, yeah, it should be enough. At Buffalo. Actually, that's not a question mark. That's a 1 and a loss. Actually, hold on. I'm gonna change the Atlanta one, the Carolina of Atlanta one, to a 3 because of the bye week. The extra week of preparation. Yeah, Buffalo's a 1 though. Week 16 at home versus Tampa Bay. I'm gonna give them a 2 and a W because they're at home. Week 17 at New Orleans. I'm going to give them a 2. I haven't decided. What do you think? W? Yeah, I think me too. And Tampa Bay, a 1 and a loss. So I do this to make up for the New Orleans one. And we got snippety with step. Oh, I got them fast hands tonight, boy. Moving on to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Tampa Buccaneers. Tampa Buccaneers. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Week 1 to open the season today. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers at home versus Dallas. That's a W. I can just say that right now. That's a 3. The reason why I'm so confident that is a W. So open the season. I'll say right now, I don't believe in Quinn's defense without like great actual talent on it, you know what I mean? Like, if there's great talent, his defense will work. However, Dallas' defense does not have phenomenal talent, from my understanding of it. They've got some talent at the linebacking level for sure. But like, they run, as far as I know, they run a 4-3. So like, bad news is the 4-3 mostly relies on the talent of your defensive linemen, not your linebackers. Also, the secondary is going to need work regardless. So, Tom Brady's going to go right through that like he did against Atlanta normally when Dan Cohen was there. Also, I heard it's likely that Zach Martin doesn't play because he COVID or something like that. So that's unfortunate. Week 2 at home against Atlanta. That's a 3 and a W. And we're going to start off with 2 waters. Oh man, I hate to do this. I'm going to retrospectively move back a little bit, and I'm sorry for the unprofessionalness of this and the unorganizedness of this. But this is me moving back to Carolina to talk about their record. I have Carolina Panthers going 10-7. Yep. With a scored on my rubric of a 38. That is not bad, Carolina. Back to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers as the Los Angeles Rams. That is a 2 and a loss. Oh wow, that was my sternum. At New England, I'm going to give this a 2 and a loss. Bill Belichick. Bill Belichick. Bill Belichick. Bill Belichick. At home versus Miami, I think that's a 2 and a W. If it was in Miami, I'd probably make it a loss. Just because not always, but for some reason there's like something bad luck always happens. Not always, but sometimes happens against Miami with Tom. Don't know why. No, but given that he hasn't had a bunch of games against them being the AFC East for most of his career. Next game is at Philadelphia. I'm going to give a 3 and a W. Next game is at home versus Chicago. I'm going to give this one. This might be Justin Fields error. This might be the Justin Fields error, and I'm still gonna give it a 3 and a W. Week 8 at New Orleans. I'm going to give it a 3 and a W. bye for them. So week 10 at the Washington football team. I'm going to give it a 2 and a W. Week 11 at home versus the New York Giants. I'm going to give them a 3 and a W. Week 12 at Indianapolis. I'm going to give them a 2 and a loss. This might not line up with what I gave Indianapolis early in the year, so you can edit that. I'll probably make a slight edit before I make my overall announcement of what I predict each team to do video, which will be also either today or maybe tomorrow if I'm late. Week 13 at at Atlanta. I'm going to give this a 2 and a loss. And this is week 14. Week 14 at home. Versus Buffalo. I'm going to give it a 2. And I'm going to check back with what I happen to give Buffalo in this case. I'm talking about Tampa Bay. A loss. Well, I'm also giving them a loss, so it's weird. But I'm going to give them a W. Tampa Bay back with the W. At home versus New Orleans, that's the 3 and a W, but I'm gonna go to the 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2. Now to the 3 for the New Orleans game. At Carolina. 2 and a loss. Week 17 is a 3 and a W. Because it's New York Jets. I know it's at the New York Jets, but I don't expect the Jets to be still in playoff contention at this point. And I expect Tom Brady to be like, oh, it's the Jets. I know these guys. It's been a minute. And then I'm just feast, you know what I mean? Last week at home versus Carolina, I think it's also a 3 and a W. Just do some calculations. I'm giving them a record of 12 and 5 with a score. $43. 12 and 5 with their score in my rubric of a 43. The Atlanta Falcons. 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 let's recap. Let's recap Tampa Bay's team real fast. I'm stupid. Tampa Bay's defense is back to how they were last year, which is going to be really solid in all levels. Their secondary might even be better than they were this year. Scary. Their defensive line is just stout. They might be a little worse due to age, but I don't think by much at all. And also, they got a new defensive end from the first round, so he'll be good too. Offensively, Tom Brady's at the helm still. Antonio Brown's probably still gonna function. Who knows how well and how long. Mike Evans is phenomenal still. Chris Godwin's phenomenal still. Scotty Miller's still fast. Tom Brady's still the GOAT. The running backs are okay. Not great, not good. Not good. Yeah, meh. Not really good. That's their biggest weakness right now. But it's not even huge, you know what I mean? So, back to Atlanta. Week 1 versus Philadelphia. I'm going to give them a 3 and a W. A 3 and a W. Can you believe that? A 3 and a W. A 3 and a W to start off the Atlanta Falcons. Now, at Tampa Bay, that's a 1 and a loss. Week 3 at the New York Giants. I'm going to give them a 2 and a W. A 4. Week 4 is the Washington football team. I think that's a 2, and I gotta give them a loss. It's awful close though. Week 5 at home versus the New York Jets. I'm going to give him a 3 and a win. I almost gave it a 2. I almost gave it a 2. See, can I do it with my foot? Can I do it with my foot? Dearly sorry about the loud noise, friends. Hope I didn't wake anybody up. Well, I threw it up to myself just now. Successfully. With my foot, and I hit it myself in the hands. Like so. I didn't catch it. Like so. But I also didn't pin it on my arm like I did just there. Back to the business. I apologize for the loud noise. And I apologize for the rambunctiousness. Back to business. The Atlanta Falcons at the Miami Dolphins week 7. I'm going to give them a 2 and a loss. At week 8 at home versus Carolina. Give me a 2 and a W. At week 9 is at New Orleans, Atlanta. I'm going to give them a 2 and a W. At Dallas, I'm going to give them a 2 and a W. I personally think Arthur Smith is going to tank Quinn's defense up, and I think Matt Ryan's going to go for like 4 touchdowns. If the running game doesn't like gash him enough to where he doesn't have to pass that much, you know what I mean? Week 11 versus New England. I'm going to give them a 2 and a W. Actually, I'm going to retrospectively give Atlanta the 3 against Dallas. For sure, Atlanta's defense might not be able to hold up that well against Dallas' offense, potentially. But I really think Atlanta's offense is going to just like massacre the Dallas defense. So I want it to be indicated. But I'm going to stick with the 2 for New England. Then at Jacksonville, I'm going to give them a 2. And what should I do? I'm gonna give them a W. Just gonna follow the gut, and then at home versus Tampa Bay, I'm going to give them a 2 and a W. I'm giving them a lot of W's in these two games. I've given them a loss in a 2 games so far. Actually 2. But that'd be 6 wins in a row. Was what I just predicted. Why I'm predicting a loss here now? I'm pretty sure. Yeah, a loss here with a 1 at Carolina. At San Francisco, it's real tough. I think I'm definitely a 2. It's definitely a 2, but the question is it a win or not? I think so. Okay. I think I'm gonna give them an L because I think San Francisco is gonna be like competing hard. Not competing. The division games are gonna be super hard, so they're gonna be trying super hard to get the games that aren't in the division as well. So, aka Atlanta. But like I said, it's a 2, so it could go either way very easily. The next week for Atlanta is week 16 at home versus the Detroit Lions, and I think Detroit is going to be a decent team on offense. They are not going to be great on defense. I just think that's how it's going to go. They're going to be good probably a couple years, in a couple years, but they're not good right now. So that's Atlanta with the 3 and a W, and that's Atlanta at Buffalo. I'm gonna give them, since it's at Buffalo in the winter, I'm gonna give them a 1 and a loss. To finish off the year, I'm going to give them a 3 and a W against the New Orleans Saints. Let's do some calculations. But first, let's talk about the Atlanta Falcons. Their offense should work. Their question is similar to the Panthers. It's the O-line. Their O-line should be good. They have about 2.5 solid pieces. It's like there's like 2 halves, so it's like looks like 3, you know. So there's 2.5 question marks basically on the O-line. But their defense is looking better. Their D-line needs a little bit more help, but it hasn't looked bad. And their linebacking core is very solid, and that's what a 3-4 relies on. Their secondary could be okay, could be garbage, but it could be okay. if that's okay, if all of them perform a little bit better than what they're supposed to, their defense will be very good because they have a new defensive coordinator who's like scheme and he was a good scheme and builds like defenses around blitzing and just doing a lot of crazy stuff. So I think that'll make the defense better. They are still lacking some talent on the defense. Also, I will say that. Offensively, like I said, the O-line is the issue. They're going to be running 2 tight ends, and they have 2 really good starting tight ends, and then like a pretty good blocking guy. Receivers, Russell Gage is a decent number 2. Calvin Ridley's a bona fide number 1. Kyle Pitts also counts as a receiver. Matt Ryan still can sling it just fine. Mike Davis is okay. He'll do well if the O-line's okay. He did well last year with Carolina. The O-line's pretty bad there, so I have faith. Yeah, let's do some math. I gave them a 36 on my rubric. And let's take a look at the record prediction. Yeah, with their record based, because I think it's partially because they got lucky, but by finishing last in the division, so they have the easier teams in the conference. So they have a 36 on my rubric. Yet they scored an 11-6 record in my predictions. That would be a lower rubric score than Carolina, but a higher record by 1 game in Carolina. Now it's the New Orleans Saints. New Orleans Saints. Enough week 1 at home against the Green Bay Packers, and normally I don't like to give teams a 1 when they're at home, but I think Aaron Rodgers is coming in very warm. Week 2 at Carolina, I'm going to give them a 2 and a loss. New England, I'm going to give them a 2 and a loss. I almost gave them 1. Versus the New York Giants, I'm going to give them a 2 and a W. Next game is at the Washington football team, and I'm going to give them a 2 and a loss. Week 7 is at Seattle. I'm going to give them a 2 and a loss. Week 8 is at home versus Tampa Bay. I'm going to give it 2 to loss. I know I gave Tampa Bay a 3 when I went over this game, but I'm going to give New Orleans a 2 here, just because 2 to loss. Versus Atlanta, that's a 2, and I think a loss. This one would be a close one though. I think New Orleans is going to lose a lot of close ones. Jameis Winston specifically is going to lose a lot of close ones. At Tennessee, I'm going to give Tennessee I'm going to give this game a 1 for New Orleans and a loss. I think Julio Jones Jones is going to tap into some of his old Marshawn Lattimore hate and just wreck house, especially given the fact that A.J. Brown might get Lattimore. At Philadelphia. 2 and a loss. Home versus Buffalo. I'm going to give him a 1 and a loss. Week 13 at home versus Dallas. Two and a loss. Wow, New Orleans, I am really just shaking down your throat. I mean, I'm giving you a lot of 2s though, so you might not like have that bad of a score, honestly. Like, you're probably gonna get pretty close to what Atlanta's gonna get, and Atlanta's record is just a lot different, especially given the fact that y'all finished at different spots in the record in the division last year, so you get different like teams you're playing against. Atlanta got like the weak teams, to be honest, the lower record, the lower end of the teams. Like for example, they played Detroit when you play Green Bay. They also play San Francisco, which is not a bad team, but you play Seattle. I think that's it. New Orleans week 14, New York Jets. 2 and a W. I think your defense will do well against Sam Darnold, but maybe not. At Tampa Bay, I'm going to give them a 1 and a loss. New Orleans at home versus Miami. I'm going to give them a 2 and a W. And an upset. Week 18 at home versus Carolina. I'm going to give them a 2 and an L. And then to finish off the season, I'm going to give them a 1 and an L to Atlanta. It's in Atlanta. And I think Atlanta's going to be competing for a wild card spot. Or, yeah, potentially a wild card spot. Potentially a division, but I think the wild card spot. So they're going to be wanting to win that game. And New Orleans is going to be fighting for draft picks, so they should be losing the game, to be honest. But, you know how hate is. You know how hate week is. So, let's do some maths for the New Orleans Saints. I got distracted. One more time. You got a score of 30 with a win prediction of 3 and 14. They are not the first team to get 3 and 14 prediction, so I'll say that. So they are not a lock for the number 1 pick. That's interesting. Let me just do a little recap before I finish the video. Thank you for watching first off. But for my predictions of the NFC South for the 2021 NFL season, at the very bottom I predicted New Orleans Saints to finish with a 3-14 record, and a 30-point rubric on my scale. Um, so a 3-14 record is my prediction. And then next in the division, I have the Carolina Panthers finishing with a 10-7 record and a 30 in my rubric. They might go to the playoffs. They might. It's a decent division record. And then second in the division, I have the Atlanta Falcons with a rubric score of 36, which is lower than the Carolina Panthers rubric score. However, due to their easier scheduling, I have their record being 11-6. And then to win the division, I have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers with a record of 12-5 and a rubric score of 43, which is pretty darn high. So 12-5 is the record prediction for me for the NFC South. Thank you for watching. We have football today. There should be more of these out either today or tomorrow or the upcoming days. I will have everything out before all of the games start on Sunday. You know what I mean? Something might be released after the Dallas and Tampa Bay game, but you know where I stand on that game now, so it's not like it's retrospect or nothing like that. It should be a decent little bit of NFL content from me coming your way within the next few hours. If you're still awake, sweet dreams. If you're awake, if you're asleep already, sweet dreams. Thank you for watching. Regardless of your awakeness, I hope you sleep well. I hope you enjoy some football. I hope you enjoy some whatever else you're doing today. Sweet dreams. Thank you for your time.